Sovereignty isn't what you claim on paper, it's what you can actually control. That was Mark Carney speaking to reporters after announcing $7 billion for Arctic icebreakers. No diplomacy, no careful hedging, just a direct message to Washington. The days of treating Canadian Arctic waters like an American highway are over. For 70 years, the United States sent ships through the Northwest Passage without asking permission. Submarines surfaced at the North Pole in Canadian territory and called it international waters. They flew American flags through Canadian channels and told Ottawa there was nothing they could do about it. And the hard truth is, Washington was right. Canada claimed sovereignty, but couldn't enforce it. No infrastructure, no military presence, and no way to actually control who used the passage. So the United States, Russia, and China all treated Canadian claims as polite fiction. Then, Donald Trump made a massive strategic error. He threatened to annex Canada economically. He called it the 51st state. He slapped on tariffs. He thought economic threats would force Canada to accept American terms on everything. Instead, he gave Canada the motivation to finally do what it should have done decades ago, build the physical presence to enforce what it already owns. Tonight, we are looking at how Canada is turning American pressure into Arctic power. The Northwest Passage is no longer just a frozen wasteland. Climate change is turning it into a strategic goldmine. We are talking about a shipping route that cuts 6,000 kilometers off the journey between Asia and Europe. But more importantly, the Canadian Arctic sits on massive deposits of critical minerals, lithium, copper, gold, resources worth an estimated $900 billion. For decades, these were unreachable. But with the ice melting, whoever controls access to the passage controls the gateway to those resources. Canada has always claimed these are internal waters. The United States has always insisted they are international waters, meaning anyone can pass through without permission. But that legal dispute is about to become irrelevant because of Mark Carney's new strategy. Physical presence creates legal facts. Carney's budget didn't just promise studies, it funded construction. We are talking about the Port of Churchill getting a massive upgrade to handle deep water shipping. We are talking about $7 billion for new polar-class icebreakers capable of smashing through 3 meters of ice and operating year-round. This changes everything. Once Canada has icebreakers patrolling 365 days a year, they can require ships to check in, accept Canadian pilots, and follow environmental regulations. The United States can keep insisting the passage is international, but if Canada has the physical infrastructure to regulate traffic and the US doesn't, the argument is over. De facto control beats legal disputes every time, and here is the strategic nightmare for Washington. If the United States succeeds in proving these are international waters, they aren't just opening the door for themselves, they are opening it for everyone. If American ships can pass without permission, so can Chinese warships, so can Russian spy vessels. By trying to deny Canadian sovereignty, the US is accidentally destroying its own northern security perimeter. Trump expected Canada to fold. He assumed that size meant leverage. Instead, he triggered the largest Arctic infrastructure investment in Canadian history. The empty chair at Trump's negotiating table isn't because Canada is weak. It's because Canada is too busy building an Arctic future that doesn't depend on American permission. The Arctic is opening. The passage is clearing. And Canada just staked its claim in ways that Washington can no longer ignore and can no longer prevent. Trump thought he was demonstrating American strength. Instead, he accidentally showed the world how to resist.